The president met with the governors of Colorado and North Dakota and urged them to look into reopening schools as soon as possible.
Our country's got to get back, and it's got to get back as soon as possible. And I don't consider our country coming back if the schools are closed.
It's a message at odds with that given by Dr. Anthony Fauci, who told a Senate committee Tuesday that there were real dangers in reopening states too soon, making particular reference to schools.
We don't know everything about this virus, and we really better be very careful, particularly when it comes to children.
Presidential candidate Joe Biden was quick to comment. "I would trust the guy who's one of our nation's top public health experts," he tweeted, "not the one who pondered injecting disinfectant into the body and looked directly at a solar eclipse."
Now, aircraft maker Boeing has been granted 2 defense contracts worth more than $2 billion for the delivery of 1,000 missiles to Saudi Arabia. The defense deal is one of the biggest to have been signed amidst the pandemic, and Saudi Arabia is expected to get its first shipment of delivery by the year 2028. US-based defense and aerospace manufacturing company Boeing has bagged this massive defense deal with Saudi Arabia. The first contract, which is worth $1.97 billion, will be for the delivery of 600 and for the modernization of existing K-SLAM-ER cruise missiles as well.
We're about to form a national unity government tomorrow. I think that this is an opportunity to promote peace in our two countries and everyone else. And we'd like to talk about strengthening our cooperation.
Ready, close. Ready, shut.
Mideast peace, we're going to be announcing a plan tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Yemen's medical facilities appear to be collapsing under the strain of COVID-19. The situation is particularly dire in Aden. Due to a shortage of beds and lack of personal protective equipment for staff, hospitals are turning patients away. Locals say it's because the staff are fearful of contracting the disease. Yemeni officials say they are doing their best to bring the situation under control.
We've exerted great efforts and provided protective clothes. We're monitoring the hospitals that close their doors to patients. In the Ministry of Health, we are monitoring the conditions on a daily basis. The Health Minister has sent warnings to many hospitals where workers violate the instructions.
Meanwhile, political tensions are on the rise in Serbia ahead of the parliamentary elections next month. In Belgrade, riot police were seen separating pro-government and opposition supporters outside Serbia's parliament. Both the groups are staging separate protests in front of the parliament for their demands to be heard. While no clashes were reported, several bottles were seen flying between the two groups. The political drama comes as the Serbian president is facing a possible opposition boycott of parliamentary and local elections. The right-wing movement led by Bosko Obradovic is demanding for the postponement of elections until autumn due to the pandemic. The leader believes that holding the election on the 21st of June would mean an unfair playing field for the opposition campaign.
As countries around the world continue gradually lifting coronavirus-related restrictions, Lebanon confronted with the situation many fear. A new wave of cases forcing a new round of lockdown measures. after over 100 new cases were reported earlier this week. Shops, restaurants, and hair salons that reopened just a week ago will now close again for the next 4 days. Only supermarkets and pharmacies will remain open. The country's health minister has said authorities will use the next 4 days to increase testing and contact tracing, and this to avoid slipping into a renewed phase of community outbreak. The government is also set to reevaluate its original 5-stage plan for reopening the economy.
The night rang out with explosions and the sky lit up when 50 cars were torched in an arson attack on a wrecking yard in Sydney's southwest. Firefighters faced a frightening ordeal as they battled for hours to stop the blaze.
Cars ablaze in every direction at a wrecking yard in Smeaton Grange.
Watch your hose line, watch your hose line. Red, red, red. We need a phone line down here urgently. We've got a running fuel fire we can't control and it's starting to burn through the hose lines over.
Almost 50 firefighters called about midnight to the business on Camden Valley Way.
The high voltage power lines are requested to move over to the other side of the road if you're not comfy.
They battled for more than 2 hours.
The fire was growing extremely rapidly. We had numerous problems trying to contain the fire.
Before they managed to put it out, 50 cars were destroyed.
Coronavirus spreads across continents. A strategic issue has struck Taiwan once again. This time it is PLA's upcoming drills on Taiwan's waters and a likely military threat from Xi Jinping's administration. A report from Japanese media claims that Chinese People's Liberation Army will hold military drills to take over the disputed Dongsha Islands, which Chinese claim to be a part of the Guangdong province. Experts in Taiwan are speculating that PLA aims to open a passage for an aircraft carrier to sail into the Pacific Ocean. Reports further suggest that Southern Theatre Command of the PLA is planning to hold large-scale landing drills on Hainan Island of South China Sea in August.
Police in Peru rounded up hundreds of clowns, mascots, and other costumed street performers. The colorful group staged a march through the streets. Their goal? To protest lockdown restrictions. But the parade itself was in violation of those restrictions, and authorities feared they would be spreading not joy, but the coronavirus.
Huh?
Hello, everyone.
We in North Africa pallbearers want to thank all the doctors in the world.